Super cool radio.
Hello, everyone. I am Matthew Thomas. You are watching Super Cool Radio. I got a great guest with me at this time. He's a very talented guitarist from Orange County, California, and is part of 3 killer bands, including Los Angeles, California Ultimate Tribute to Jimi Hendrix, Stonefree, premium rock band Scultone, and Carlos Arroyo and the Blues Groove All-Stars. Please welcome Carlos Arroyo.
Oh, thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much. Man, you make me sound great.
That is my job. That's what I got to do.
No, it's wonderful to be on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very nice to chat with you. Before we get started, a big shout out to promoter Christina Avila for making this interview possible. She is really cool to work with, always hooking me up with some great interviews. So big shout out to Christina for making this interview possible.
Definitely, yeah. She's going to start working now with our Scultone band, which will be great because she's always out there. She's always posting. Her follow up is amazing, and she's just a lot of fun, and she'll tell fun stories just like we do. So she's one of us now. So
yeah, she's really awesome. Just her whole character and all the great work she does for musicians and bands. It's really incredible.
Yeah, it is, and she works with a lot of my friends, with Rick Fox and and Jonesy and everyone else. So it's kind of fun that a lot of us have been together since like the '80s. We've been playing with each other, playing in clubs and different things, and it's just nice to see that after all these years, we're still all here. We're still all playing, and it's just the love of the music. Because it's sure not always the money.
Wait, what do you mean? You tell me musicians don't get paid all the time?
Oh, well, you've seen the ads where it says a musician, a guy that puts $5,000 of equipment into a $500 car, drives 200 miles for $50. So.
Yes, for sure, but. It's going to be a great interview. I can already feel it. So let's kick this interview off. I'm going to start with a fun question, nice icebreaker to kick this off. What music have you been listening to this week, Carlos?
This week, a lot of the Scultone stuff, because we haven't been together since the pandemic. So it's like I've got to relearn our songs. So I've been listening to a lot of that. And there's a lot of favorite bands I love, like Alter Bridge.
Yes.
Miles Kennedy's amazing. I love those guys, and I listen to my Hendrix. Always got to listen to Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
But I try to listen to. I'm a music guy, so it's like I have thousands and thousands of CDs. I have videos. I have so much, but every week I've got to have something new. It's just I've got to have that new music. I still have my faves, but I got to hear something new. Something fresh. Got to go see someone fresh, something new. And I've always been that way, and I'll always be that way.
Yeah, I definitely feel I'm the same way. Every week I'm always either finding music or people are like messaging me like, hey, you got to check this band out and things like that. But yeah, actually Alter Bridge, like that was the last concert I went to before the pandemic. That was the last show I went to. And they're amazing. First time seeing them, and they're just incredible live.
Yeah, they are great. And I've got to see this, since the pandemic's winding down in theory. I got to go see Joe Bonamassa.
Really?
I'm a big Joe Bonamassa fan. I've really gotten into the blues a lot. And he opened the Greek Theater, which is the big concert venue here outdoors. And it's their 90th anniversary. So he got to open and be the first show here. So I wound up getting tickets, and I went with my grandson, who's a giant Bonamassa fan. And it was just fun to be outdoors listening to someone so great, and just music, just the vibe of what we're all looking forward to do again, to get out and play live.
Yes, for sure. Especially he's a killer blues musician. Just he's incredible. Like I love blues music too, and he's incredible as well.
It was a fun show, and I love the Greek. I think it's voted every year greatest small outdoor venue in the country. So it's just a wonderful venue. The sound system's amazing. The show was amazing, and it was just, like I say, it was just fun to be out again.
Yeah, definitely being out, especially with not having live music for like a year and some people almost 2 years. It's really nice to actually get back and to enjoy live music and be around people who also enjoy the same music in you. It's a really nice feeling.
Oh, definitely. It's like I had during the pandemic probably at least 20 shows canceled. Yeah. I did get to do some though. I mean, get to do some outdoor shows. I felt comfortable doing the outdoor shows. Indoor shows, not too much right now. But we did do some outdoor shows, and I have some outdoor shows coming in November with my Hendrix band and Scultone, the band Scultone. We have a EP coming out end of September, maybe October, and we have we want to do a CD release party at the end of October. So looking forward to that. It's kind of fun getting back with the guys. When the pandemic hit, we all kind of had to go our separate ways for a while. And then we decided, let's get back together. It looks like we could finish the album and do that. And then we tragically lost our rhythm guitar player. Oh. And so that was kind of got us to the point, well, do we continue? Do we, we felt so bad, but we, Doc, Richard Hayden and I, we talked about it. He goes, you know what? Let's finish this. So we wound up, we got a new drummer, new bass player, and a new guitar player, and we just started rehearsing again, and we're mixing back in the studio, trying to get everything done and writing new material. And I think we have enough for a second album already. Just in the few weeks we've gotten back, I think it's that energy of it's live, it's us again. So it's been a lot of fun, and everyone in the band is just a crazy character. There's no shy guys in the band, so it's you say something smart, Alec, you're gonna get something back.
No, right on. Yeah, it's you just tell, like I've been to some show, like live shows, post getting out of the pandemic a little bit, and the crowds are just so hot. Just like they're just like ready to be in front of live music or live performances, whatever, any kind of being out in front of any kind of live music or performance, and they're just it's insane almost just how hot and ready the crowds are to be back.
It is. We did a show during about 2 months ago. I did a live show outside and with my Hendrix band, and they're all yelling, "Smash and burn guitars! Come on, let's!" They're ready for the craziness because we've done that. We did a Woodstock festival. We were headlining my Hendrix band, and we burned and smashed guitars and just tore up the stage, and the crowd just went nuts. And they come to kind of expect that. So I wound up. It was a fundraiser. I wound up winning a guitar. In the raffle, I wound up winning the guitar, and everyone burn and smash it. He goes, the show's over. I'll burn and smash it at the next show. So got a guitar. I'm going to custom paint it, and it's going to get burned and smashed.
Well, at least you didn't have to pay for a replacement guitar. You already got one.
Yeah, and it's like that. When I did that Woodstock festival, I bought a Squire Strat, got it for $80, and I had my daughter, who's a great artist, and she painted it exactly like the Monterey Strat. It looked perfect. It was beautiful. Wow. I used it for the encore song Wild Thing like Hendrix did, and then I burned and smashed it, and she said she will never paint another guitar for me again. She goes, paint it on your own, Dad. I'm done.
I can see that. But
kids today,
it's always like the nice stuff, like a nice guitar or whatever, and like at the end, like they'll smash and burn it, but like, well, it was worth it though. It looked cool while I was playing it.
It did. It looked really good, and people, they loved it. And the funny thing is, I had some friends that came to the show, the concert, and one of his daughter came with her boyfriend, and he's taking pictures, with his camera, taking pictures. and I burned and smashed the guitar. I took the neck and threw it way out in the audience. Well, he's filming. He's going, and then he stops and puts it down, and it hits him right in the eye and gave him a black eye. And I didn't know this till about a year later when I was doing the Woodstock Festival again, and I invited them over. He goes, well, you gave him a black eye. He goes, oh, I'm so sorry. He goes, yeah, but they broke up. He goes, well, I'm glad I hit him. Hurting our little girl like that, so.
Yep, totally worth it.
It was worth it. If I see him again, I'm grabbing a guitar.
I'm not even performing. I'll just hit you with a guitar.
Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna hit him.
All right, so just get a little bit of history on you. So, how'd you get started as a musician, and how'd you get started playing guitar?
Well, I was a kid in New York. I'm from the Bronx, New York. Really? And I was playing in a junior philharmonic orchestra. I was playing violin. And then I decided, I'm gonna start getting a guitar. So my parents got me a guitar, and I realized that you get more girls with a guitar than a violin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I figured, I'd let you know because, I look at bands, parties in the back, with drinking and strippers and everything else. And I think of Isak Perlman and Heifetz, the great violinist. I've never seen any video of them doing shots off of strippers' stomachs or none of that stuff. So I figured maybe a guitar player has a little bit better chance of that. So.
Well, you could have changed the culture of violin by doing all that stuff while playing violin.
Yeah, and I could have burned and smashed it. Yeah, but wearing a tuxedo on stage and then burning and smash, I don't think it has the same effect. Yeah,
probably not. But I mean, it might be funny at least once.
Once, yeah. But then we moved out here to California, and the programs in school, they weren't what it is in New York. New York is at that time was such a cultural mix of all kinds of music, all kinds of people. It's the melting pot, like they call it. And coming out to California, it was a little bit more. They're very laid back. It wasn't as intense. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and play guitar. And then when I was 14 years old, I can even tell you the date, March 25th, 1970. My buddy Gordon came up to me and goes, you ever listen to Hendrix? I go, yeah, Purple Haze, Foxy Lady. He goes, no. Have you ever listened to Hendrix? I go, I guess not. He goes, look, the Band of Gypsies album just came out today. I listened to it. My brother bought it. He goes, I'm going to sneak to the house before he gets home. I'll steal it, bring it to your house, and you can listen to it and tell me what you think. So I go, okay, great. His brother keeps asking him, where's my album? Because I don't know what happened to it. So I put the album on LP, of course. You put it on the first side. I wound up just transforming from a kid that played guitar to a guitar player. I stayed up from Friday after school till Monday when I had to go back to school. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't put it down, couldn't put the guitar down. And I learned both sides of the LP, note for note. And he comes back on Monday and goes, so what do you think? I go, well, let me show you. And I put side one on, and I played the whole side one on guitar with the album, flipped it over, did the same. He goes, I've never heard anyone play that like that, play Hendrix like that. He goes, I've heard Purple Haze Fox, but not this intense. He goes, you know what? I'll take it back to my brother. I'll steal the Axis Bold as Love album for this Friday. And then the following was Are You Experienced? And the following was the Electric Ladyland. And I wound up that month, I don't think I slept for a month, and just learned all of the Hendrix, and just it just changed me. Just changed me. And I've been doing it ever since, and playing music ever since. I was playing in clubs and bands since I was 14 years old. So it's been a fun ride.
Yeah, that's very incredible. Just the and like learning Hendrix, it's not easy to play on guitar. It is not easy at all. He's really talented guitarist to actually learn it as fast as you did. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was, like I say, it was just inspiration. I had never heard anything like that. I loved the Beatles, because the Beatles, it was the 60s, heard the Beatles and loved the Beatles, of course, and Carlos Santana and Eric Clapton. But then when Band of Gypsies came out, it was was just a different direction of guitar playing, music. It was bluesier, it was heavy, the lyrics, machine gun about war. It's just, like I say, it was just inspiring. And it's funny, for my 60th birthday, I decided to do the Band of Gypsies album live in its entirety. So my friend Gordon, who I'm still friends with since we were 12 years old, he sees the post. He goes, "You're doing Band of Gypsies?" I go, "In its entirety." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, I wish I can come out," because he lives in Nebraska. And he goes, "I wish I could come out." He goes, "Oh, it would be great to have you, And I go, "Well, maybe next time." Well, all of a sudden I get a call while I'm sound checking from Gordon. He goes, "Hey, I am in Vegas. I had to drive to Texas to pick up my brother Chris, who we stole his album, and come out to see you do this show." And he says, "I'll be there in about 3 hours." I goes, "Yeah, I don't play for another 5 hours. I'm just doing a sound check." And he gets there with his brother, and we did the album in its entirety. It was just so much fun. And then I announced on stage, I goes, "This man right here introduced me to Hendrix and this album." And I told him the story about staying up all night and learning it, and we're sitting there, and he goes, "Oh, and he also introduced me to another band." He goes, "Hey, you ever heard of Led Zeppelin?" And I go, "No." He goes, "For white boys, they can really play." The audience is laughing. He goes, "You had to tell that story?" And he goes, "And to let you know, Chris, Gordon stole your album in 1970. Because I didn't know where it was. Yeah, it just turned into this giant fest of everyone in the audience. "Oh, what a great story!" And it was just a fun night. Made it a very memorable night.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially to actually the person who stole Band of Gypsies from his brother to let you listen to have him be there too it just adds to it.
It did, and I had a lot of friends that night, and we just turned, after the Band of Gypsies out, we just turned into a jam session. They had to throw us out because the club was closing and nobody wanted to leave. It's like, you could play here again. I know. But you get those magic nights. I've been blessed to play with so many great musicians, and we've gotten it where it's like you're playing and you hear this band that's opening for you. It's like, "Oh, that guitar player is good," or the bass player, because they're gonna come up during our encore. They're gonna come up and play with us. Leave your amps on stage, and it's made for such great magic. Playing with these musicians, and I think B.B. King was the one I used to say. He goes, what his goal was, and it's turned into my goal, is to play with as many musicians as you possibly can, because everything will be a learning experience. It'll be a fun experience. He goes, it's something that you'll take to your grave. It's like, "Oh, remember the night we played with UFO? Remember the night we played with Great White?" And you remember those nights. And I'm still like, we played with Macaulay's Schenker Group. Really? We opened for them on their first show together in 10 years, and we got asked to open the show for them, and we did. It was just one of those nights. I still keep in contact with Robin and with his wife Gina. She's a sweetheart, and every time he's doing something, it's like, "Hey, I got a new song." Sends it over, or his wife does the same thing. So it's been able to keep in contact with a lot of these some of my heroes.
Yeah, it's not only like a learning experience to play with very talented musicians and a bunch of different musicians. It's all the connections you make, because as you said, like sending music back and forth and to listen to and everything. It's like the connections, the friendship, and the experience, like all in one.
It is. It's like I said, I've been blessed to have a lot of those experiences, and for me, it's like when we do the Hendrix set, for instance, because it's never the same show. Never. The set's never the same. The arrangements are different, because Hendrix always did it that way. So we do the same thing. We'll take it as like, "Hey, let's do the Miami pop version of Foxy Lady this time." Or we'll do albums in their entirety. We did the whole Monterey concert, the Monterey Pop concert in its entirety, front to back, with all the speeches from the show, when he goes, "Yeah, it's really outside here. It didn't even rain. No buttons to push." So we did all of the same speeches, and then of course Vernon smashed the guitar at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So things like that. We've done the Woodstock show like that. We've done Are You Experience in its entirety. You know, we've done Band of Gypsies in its entirety. So it's always different. That's what people love about it, because every time we come see you, we know there's going to be something different at this show, and we're going to see something different. And we do the same thing now with Scultone. You know, we did 6 sold out shows at the Whiskey, you know, 6 months in a row with some fun bands with LA Guns, the Bank Tango, the Bullet Boys. Did a fun show with Dennis Quaid and the Sharks. His band is awesome. They've been together, all original members, for 17 years. And we did a show with them, a sold out show at the Whiskey, and just had a blast. Just great people, down to earth. You know, like I say, I've met so many good people, you know, people that, you know, that they're stars, but they're still down to earth. And we do it, just have a fun time.
I think that's like the main goal, at least with everything I do, and I think with many other people as well. It's like you gotta have fun, because there's, you know, no point in doing it if you're not gonna have fun. Unless you're getting paid a ton of money, then I guess you don't have to have fun. But the main goal is to have fun.
Yeah, money's good, you know. I can fake fun for money, but no, it's all about the fun for me. Like I say, you know, I've been doing this since I was 14 years old, and I'm in my 60s now. And it's funny, you know, I had songs on the radio with the band Dungeon and touring and opening for a lot of acts. And now I'm in my 60s, and I'm more popular now than in my heyday when I was touring. And I go to the NAMM show now, and people, "Are you Carlos Arroyo?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Can we do a picture?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, oh, sure." You know, and my wife laughs. She goes, "You're more popular now than when you were in your crazy heyday." I go, "Yeah," because people still remember. We were at the river, you know, Colorado River, and we're eating at a restaurant down there. There's like 15 people sitting at a table, and 2 of the guys come over and goes, "You're Carlos Arroyo, right?" I go, "Yeah. I saw you play in 1978 at the Space Needle in Seattle." I'm like, "Wow, and you still recognize me?" You know? He goes, "Yeah, we followed you all these years, and when are you coming back to Seattle?" You know, and stuff. So it's a lot of fun, you know. Still, it's like, hey, people still remember. And like we were talking about, if you make it fun and really enjoy what you're doing, you know, you look at people in the audience, and they're gonna remember. It's like, how many girls that you talk to, you go, "You know, I went to go see the Scorpions." He goes, "And Rudolph was looking straight at me and singing right at me." You know, and that is special, making that connection. And it's just, you know, he could be looking at the whole audience over here, but it was just, he was looking at me and singing to me, you know, and just creating that connection. You know, it's things that, you know, you'll never forget, and they'll never forget.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's like kind of that's like the main reason to go to concerts is, you know, to create really, really cool memories, but also to listen to really great music. I've had a few, at least I think, from the direction I was staying, I had a few musicians on stage point at me, so I'll take it. They might not have been pointing at me, but I will take it.
Exactly. And I tell the guys in the band, look, make eye contact, point at someone and smile at them, you know, and they're going to remember that. Whether you can see them because the lights are so dark, sometimes you can't see the audience, you know, acknowledge them, and they're going to always remember that. They're always going to come back to see you play in whatever bands you're playing in, because they remember those moments, and you remember those moments. Just, man, did you see the smile on that person? You know, you can't put a price tag on that, even though I'd be willing to, but you know, just I'd be willing to.
You know, just a few $1 million here and there, it'll be good.
Yeah. Hey, $50 till Tuesday. I'm a happy man. You know, so I'm not greedy.
Obviously, we're talking about, you know, live shows and playing music and all that. I do know you're part of 3 awesome bands, as I said in my intro. But the first one I want to talk about is Stonefree, as we were kind of covering a little bit earlier. But what can people expect from a Stonefree show?
Well, you know, I've had people that have seen Hendrix live and has seen our Hendrix shows. And I had one guy, when we did the Woodstock with Burning Smashing, tore up the stage. He goes, you know, that was the second greatest guitar performance I've ever seen. He was older than me, so he goes, I've seen everyone from the Doors to Janis to stuff like this. He goes, wow, thank you. He goes, who's your first? He goes, Cream 68 at the Fillmore. He goes, it was just, Eric just was on fire. He goes, and second. He goes, what's third? Jimi Hendrix at San Bernardino Swing. I was like, you put on a good show when someone who has seen Hendrix has done that. And I played with a musician, a jam session at a club, and he had actually played with Jimmy and Buddy Miles. And he came up and played, and him and I played together. And after the show, I did a bunch of Hendrix after the show. He goes, I played with Hendrix. He goes, and you did things today that Jimmy didn't do. He goes, that's an amazing show, what you did, and the way you just love the music, you love Hendrix. Because you take it and it's not just like you're playing it note for note 1968. Because you're taking it and as if Jimmy's still playing. And if Jimmy was playing, what would he be doing? He goes, and that's kind of more of what you're taking it. You're taking his technique note for note, but then you're adding today's technique to it and trying to keep it true, but keep it like, yeah, you're seeing Jimmy today, not just in 1968, 1967. So those are some great compliments, especially for someone who played with Hendrix. That's a great compliment.
Yeah. Very high honor, especially like for people who've seen Hendrix and like can actually like say compare it to you, and some say better or put a different spin or style on it, but still stay true to Hendrix. I think that's really cool.
It's fun. It is, like I say, just watching the people's audience. When we did the Woodstock show, it was summer. It was 115 degrees outdoor concert, and women weren't wearing literally nothing. They was taking clothes off because it was so hot, and they're climbing up on stage and grabbing us, and while we're playing. And I'm telling my road crew, don't take them off the stage yet. Kind of circle a couple times like you're chasing them. Let the crowd have some fun too, watching these naked girls running around the stage. So it was hilarious. And I told my wife, I go, honey, I'm so sorry, about this. She goes, look, you're wearing an afro, a fake mustache, red flowered pants, an orange puffy shirt, and a colorful vest. Because if women think that's hot, they can have you. She used to be the jealous type. I don't know what happened.
I'm not going to speak on that. But so how does it feel like to pay tribute to Hendrix and do it in the way that you do it, that actually like people really enjoy it and they really compare it to Hendrix as highly as they do?
Well, it's the reason I play. Hearing that Band of Gypsies album just changed it for me. So it's you have to pay homage to the guys that did it before you. The B.B. Kings, the Jimi Hendrix, the Eric Claptons, the Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, those guys that shaped the music that we play today. Because I don't care what anyone says. If you don't know who those guys are, you're not a musician, because those are the guys that reinvented music and put it to a style, made it a live thing. It's not just an LP. It's a live show. They brought it to a stage and they brought it to the audiences, and I just feel honored to be able to still do that, to keep going in the tradition of the elders, the guys that did it before me. And then getting to play with, I got to do a show with UFO, and Vinnie Moore was playing guitar. And Vinnie Moore is one of my favorite guitar players. He autographed one of my guitars for me. So I had to take the pick guard off or I couldn't play it anymore because it'll smear. But getting to play with a lot of these guys, and then getting, again, still playing with a lot of my friends from the 80s, like from Great White and Bullet Boys, things that we're all still playing. We're still survivors of that time. It just makes it, it's just, it's from the heart. It doesn't matter really about the money. And money's always good, and getting paid more, then we can smash more guitars and more instruments. Put on a better show, things like that. But it's just, I've been doing it for the love of music for, since 1970. And I'm going to continue to do it. People say, are you going to still play with your teeth like Hendrix does when you're 90 years old? I go, yeah, I may have to take them out, and use it as a slide or something, but I'm still going to do that.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta wash my teeth first before I do this.
Yeah, exactly. You know, no, it's the reason we still play is guys like that, and the Hendrix. You know, having people say things like that about seeing Hendrix and seeing, you know, and doing the comparison, I just feel humble. You know, just like thank you so much that you get it. You know, that you see it and you get what we're trying to do.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like to you know, to still play with the people who are, you know, as you said, from the 80s, who are still playing, who are still, you know, alive and kicking and still putting on great shows. I think that's awesome, like in its own right, that like you guys are still here, you're still going, and like you're doing all these cool things that that, you know, people enjoy so much.
Yeah, it's now that things are opening up. Like I said, I've got a few shows this in September, a few in October, and some in November already starting to book, you know. So, and I want to finish getting the album done with Scultone because I have a blues band I started, my Blues Groove All Stars, and got some great musicians, great name musicians, and then it all hit, and it's like, okay, going back to my country, or I'm going back to my state, you know, because there aren't any more shows. So, hoping as things open up, I can put that back together and do it. You know, I've been writing a lot of material, and then with Scultone, since we've gotten back together, it's just been nuts. I think everyone has all these creative juices, and they just want to get it out. You know, everybody's wanting to write music. Everyone wants to play live. You know, and it's just so much fun. But you know, but you're starting to see it's closing up again in a lot of the country. You know, I've had some friends that say, yeah, we had the big festivals just got all canceled. Yep. You know, so we'll see where it goes, but we're just going to gear and keep going as if, hey, it's open tomorrow and we're going to keep playing. So,
and I think that's the right attitude to have. I know, like, kind of where I'm at, where there's, you know, the weather in the fall. I'm from Indiana, so like the weather in the fall. I mean, obviously you can't have an outdoor show unlike, you know, where you are in California, where you can still have an outdoor show. I don't think people are going to play in a foot of snow, even though you maybe.
No, we're pretty blessed out here in California. You know, I have outdoor shows in November coming. You know, so it's still nice. You know, October is great. You know, November, you know, you really don't get a lot of rain here. You know, we're in a drought, so we can do a lot of those outdoor shows.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think you would play in a foot of snow, but maybe if they paid you enough.
Yeah. Can I burn and smash? Well, I don't know how well a guitar will burn and smash in snow, but I'd give it a try. I definitely would. Book it, Matthew. I'll be there.
I'm gonna have to set it up now.
Set it up. I'm ready.
Yeah, Christmas last year here in Indiana, we had almost 2 feet of snow. Like it just came from like Christmas Eve, like, you know, midnight to 8 a.m. We had almost 2 feet of snow, 16 inches, and yeah, that was insane.
That's pretty. Yeah, I'm from New York, so I'm used to seeing the snow and you know, through the holidays. You know, when I first moved to California, we didn't like Christmas because it was 85 degrees. Christmas, 85 degrees. You know, and we're used to the snow and hearing the chains, and as kids, oh, that's Santa Claus. You hear the chains from the reindeer and stuff, and you come out here, it's like, people are going to the beach on Christmas. Well, that's not Christmas. But I've gotten used to it. Gotten used to that, you know.
I might have to try that sometime. I can go one Christmas without snow. I'll be okay. But like, yeah, I'll go to the beach.
There we go. Yeah, I'll go to the. Well, my wife and I did that a few years ago. It was 88 degrees the week of Christmas, so we took the Sea-Doos out and we just went out to the lake. Yeah. Went out to see, and we were the only 2 people on the whole lake because it's Christmas week. We were the only 2. We had a private lake to ourselves, and we just had a blast. I called in well that day to work. You know, the office. Called my secretary. Told, hey, I'm not coming in. I'm calling in well. She goes, what do you mean well? I'm feeling way too good. It's 88 degrees. I'm going out to play. Just let everyone know I won't be in today.
Yeah, I'm feeling good day, and I'll see you guys sometime. I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm busy. If you need me, you know, just leave a message. You know, can't answer a phone on a Sea-Doo. You know, so.
I mean, you could. I think you might need a new phone afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's in the backpack on the beach.
Yeah,
I'll check it at the end of the day.
or not.
On the way home, oh, that was important. Well,
Oops, oh, missed that one. Ah, never mind.
yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. My secretary, she'll take care of it. So, she's great at that stuff. So
Exactly. All right. So obviously another band you're in, you've obviously been talking about it as well. That is Scultone. So anyone not familiar with this great rock band, what is Scultone? Like, what can they expect from the music of Scultone?
Well, it's heavy. It's rocking. It's melodic with our vocals. Since I joined the band, Doc and I, we've kind of redid all the vocals, to make it more not as just killer. So it's still killer music, but now we've got backing vocals in it. And now with the new members, we got the new members, and they're just seasoned veterans, and they see the vision we see. I think before some of the guys were, they different backgrounds, things like this. I think everyone here, they're all crazy. We're all crazy musicians, so that helps. Insanity is great. When you're just not the only one in the rubber room. So it's fun. They're learning the material really quick. They love what they hear, and we're just, we're excited. We want to get the album out, and our manager is saying, look, I've got like 8 shows with major acts lined up for you guys. We got to get the album finished so we can get these shows booked. And like we had booked quite a few shows before the pandemic, with a lot of great artists. So we want to get back to doing that. But it's just getting the album out, and it's a rocking album. It's it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy, So, but it's like I say, it does have its melodic edges, and is why I like playing in that band. It's fun, like I say, and it's not a thrash metal band. It's a hard rocking, straight ahead, kick you in the teeth type music. So.
I like the sound of that. I really do. But can you give any hints about the album you're working on? Any kind of like music, lyrics, anything you can give hints on?
Well, there's one song that I guess our manager says, Marvin, he says, I heard this song, and he goes, I want that to be the first video. So we'll probably shoot that next month. But the song's called Save Me. And it's about, I wrote it for my wife. I was during my crazy rock and roll days, I was a party animal. I could outdrink any audience. I was one of those kind of guys. And for 20 years, I was just that guy. And when you're drinking like that, you don't see there's a problem. You're in the moment. Yeah, nothing's wrong. You're in the moment. And you push away the people that are trying to say, hey, you've got to come back down to earth, and so this song's about that. It's about, I love the nightlife, I'm partying, I love all of this stuff. And then, but the choruses are save me from myself, save me from everyone else, turn my darks to light, it's that kind of thing. So the verses are like, I want to party. And the choruses are, save me. Somebody's got to save me from myself. And it's a fun song. And I think that's going to be our first video.
I like the sound of that, especially like the difference from, like, as you said, like the chorus versus like the verse. Like the verses are like what you're doing, but like the inside, you on the inside's like, I think I need help. I think I should stop acting like this. So I really like the concept of that song.
Yeah, and it's about my wife. She always tells me, "How come you don't write a song about me?" So I go, here, I got
finally
one.
did.
I finally did. But yeah, it's like I say, it's Doc's a great songwriter. And then when I joined the band, he goes, "Look, here's the deal. If you join our band, you can do the other half of the album." So I get to write 6 songs for the album. So and then now some of the new music that I've come up with now that we're back, I've written the music, and he's starting to write the lyrics already. He goes, man, and everyone's like, oh, let's put this in. So it's kind of getting more of a collaboration, where in a lot of bands, it's either I write it or a singer writes it. Here now we're getting to that point where, okay, we understand what we want and what we're doing. And we know the style. We've defined what what our music is. Let's do it together. I've always wanted to collaborate more, but it's always been I'm writing the songs or he's writing the song. Well, I'll add this part to it, but that's I'm really looking forward to the new music besides the stuff we're doing now, because it's going to be a collaboration and it's going to be fun. I want everyone in this band to have a say, like this is their band. It's not just Doc's band because he's the leader of the band. It's our band because all of us have equal say in it. I want everyone to write lyrics, help me, here's the music. I'm going to send it to you. If you hear something, let me know. I don't have an ego as far as like, oh, hey, that's my song. No, it's not changing. Things like it's, because I've played in bands like that. I went and played in a band called the Blue Powder Monkeys. They were looking for a guitar player who could sing, and could harmonize and could produce. So I met the singer and we talked, and he goes, hey, come down and I'll give you, here's 6 songs. Learn these 6 songs, come to practice. So I went down there and I go, look, as long as you don't mind me adding harmonies and changing a few things around, because that's what I do. That's how I produce music. And the other guitar player goes, the songs are done. No, you can't do that. I go, well, keep an open mind. Let's do the first song. We did the first song, and I had a guitar harmony on top of his guitar and added vocal harmonies on there. And he looks at me and goes, now that's the way we should record the damn song. And it wound up turning into a fun band, everyone's starting to get their say and getting in there. And we got submitted for a couple of Grammys, and my wife laughed at me because she goes, you got submitted as best new artist. She goes, you haven't been new since the 70s. It's my wife again who supports me 100%.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, she's put up with me, all these years, and she's, like I say, she's put up with me, and she keeps me grounded. I call it undergrounded sometimes.
I got you for sure.
Yeah, but she, like I say, it's that was a fun band. Scultone. I'm looking forward to getting the album out, doing some of these shows locally, and then hopefully for summer getting out when things open up, getting out and touring. I get offered a lot of shows with my Hendrix band also. But it's funny, these last few concerts I've done, people in the audience that come see me play all the time, in different bands, he goes, okay, it's time for an original album again. You haven't done anything like that. He goes, you need to put your new music out. So it's in the works. It's in the works. So, which is fun. It's great that they come see the Hendrix band or they go see these bands, but because, hey, we want to see you play. We want to see you guys play. We want to see your new music, your new inspiration, and stuff. I'm not going to sing about COVID. I'm not any of that stuff. And, I'm not, but I'm looking forward to, writing new music, recording this, and getting out and playing it, And then KLOS said they're going to premiere one of our songs in the end of September, end of this month, and Save Me in November. They're hoping the video will be done. So that's kind of fun stuff, hearing, getting your songs back out on the radio.
Yeah, especially like I know quite a few people who even just local musicians like, hey, I finally made it to FM radio. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, that's a good accomplishment. I think between that and getting vinyl, those are 2 good accomplishments. Oh,
it's true. I remember driving when I had my band Dungeon in the 80s, and we were getting songs on the radio and stuff. And I remember driving in my car. I was going to a club after a band rehearsal, and someone called in and requested one of my songs. He goes, hey, can we have that new song by And I was like, oh, man. It was like, I had tears. It was like, that is so cool. Just makes all that hard work worth it, when someone else sees it and feels it,
Didn't feel so inclined to actually call a radio station to actually say, hey, you got to play this song because it's good, to actually take the action to, not just say it's good, but actually make the action to call and tell them you should play it.
Yeah, that was just great. And I was at a party one time, like a band party after hours, and same thing happened. We were listening to KNAC. That was the metal station out here, and someone called in and requested one of our songs. I was like, hey guys, shh. someone's requesting our song, so it's like that movie, That Thing You Do, that when they all hear the radio and they hear their song on the radio. It was like that. All of us at this party are just going, dude, someone wanted our song, so it's fun. Like that. Same with Blue Pot of Monkeys when we got made it for a couple of Grammys and we were getting airplay. One of the coolest things, I was listening to an FM radio station, online, and they played Stairway to Heaven. Then they played a double shot of my band, and then they played Freebird. I go,
wow.
If you ever in your whole life think two of your songs are played in between two of the greatest rock songs of all times. I just sat there like, wow, life is good.
That's a killer block too, to be flanked by Led Zeppelin and Leonard Skinner.
And two songs, not just one, two.
Yeah,
a double shot. That was like, life is good.
Yeah, and I can just imagine. So you all huddled around the radio, and then after the song plays, everyone goes, "Yeah!" It's a crazy. And I've done it in the cars, man. And it's like I've got to pull over for this. I'm not driving for this. I'm pulling over. I want to sit and enjoy it. I don't care if I'm late. Hold my calls. I got to listen.
Hold my calls. Yeah. They're playing my song on the radio.
Are you on the radio? I didn't think so.
Yeah, exactly. Now, so I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to see a lot of fun things with this Scultone band. Especially with the new members. I think there's a new energy. Yeah, I think there's an energy because of COVID's hopefully winding down. New album out. New songs that we're writing. Getting offered good shows, and the possibilities of next summer being hey, I've got a motorhome, and Doc has a motorhome. He goes, let's just go on the road. Hey. My wife goes, when we bought our motorhome, she goes, you should go back out on the road like you did in the old days. It'll be just like the old days. I go, you mean I could chase women and drink and party? She goes, no. I goes, well, it's nothing like the old days then. Nothing at all. But it can still be fun, I guess. So.
For sure. I'm definitely looking forward to all the cool things Scultone has in the works. Sounds like you got some killer stuff in the works between the music, possible tour lines up for next year in the summer. It's gonna be. I think that's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun summer. It'll just get to be a balancing act between that and the Hendrix band, because when summer comes, it's all those big outdoor concerts and they pay well, and so it's doing that. But I do I've been sober now. Next month it'll be 28 years.
Congratulations! Right on.
Thank you, because for 20 years I was out there, having fun and living the life of a musician and stuff. So I do a lot of work for recovery. I do a lot of work for alcohol and drug and I'm everyone says I'm a professional volunteer. It's like, oh, there's a cause? Cancer? Yeah, I'll play. So I do a lot of shows like that, whether it's unplugged, just me, or it's with a band or playing with someone else's band, for recovery. Because, I had one of my daughters years ago got cancer. And it was 2.5 years of chemo, radiation, surgeries, and I slept in a hospital cot. I quit playing for a while and slept in a hospital cot next to her for 2.5 years and stuff. And I met so many great people that helped me get through those times, and they all said the same thing. You've got to pay it forward. You've got to, the things that we're telling you, the things we're teaching you, because you need to do that with everyone else. You've got to do that. And I've been doing that. And she was 3 years old and she's 40 now. So she was about 6 when it ended. So, so for 30 something years, been paying it forward. So I never, ever say, I don't care what it is. I don't care what the cause is. I'm in. So I do a lot of shows like that. But a funny story with that was, I had to do a show, and this is the 80s now. Okay. So my hair, I'm 5'8", but in those days I had 6-inch platform shoes like Kiss, and I had 6 to 8 inches of hair, it was the 80s.
7
okay?
foot.
Don't judge. It was the 80s, and the man,
that's a good disclaimer.
Disclaimer, and the makeup, because, it was the glam days and stuff. So I'm wearing black spandex pants, my boots, with the 6-inch platforms, my hair this high. I got a black cape on, so, and all the metal hardware, and, that was big in the 80s and stuff. And so I told my daughter, I've got to go do a show. I'll be back tonight, and stuff. So I went, did my show. I'm coming back to the hospital, and she's in the cancer ward, but you have to go through emergency. And then you have to go through the tunnels to get to that building because it's closed. So here I am. I walk in, a 6'9", guy dressed like this, and I wave to one of the girls there at the desk, and then just walk through. Well, she calls the police and reports a 7-foot vampire just walked through my hallway. So she calls the police. The police come. There's 2 cops now with guns drawn, going through the hallways. Go clear, clear. Going up every floor through every one of the hospital buildings because there's about 7 of them. And by that time, I'd comb my hair down. I'm in a pair of sweats, t-shirt. I'm asleep. It's 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm asleep, and the nurses the next morning were telling me, because you made our night. He goes, what do you mean I made your night? He goes, the way you were dressed and you came in, he goes, the cops came here about an hour later, guns drawn, clear, clear. Because when I asked, what are you doing? He goes, we're looking for a 7-foot vampire. He goes, I heard he was through these halls. And he goes, 7 foot? What's he look like? Big hair, cape. And he goes, that's Mr. Arroyo. His daughter's a patient here. He's an entertainer. Like, he goes, okay. And they put their guns back in their holsters and left. And the girls were saying, I didn't see any silver bullets. I didn't see a stake. I don't know what they were going to do to kill you. Because you're always drinking, so nothing's going to hurt you.
And they didn't have garlic with them, I assume.
No, it was funny. I wish I would have seen them with my hair combed back down and my short, and sweats and stuff, because I would have just kept going. He goes, I saw it. He goes, it flew out that window and it went, I think, to the roof. You guys should check the roof, because I'm sure that's where he's got his coffin hidden, in the shade. I would have just had more fun. I'm that guy. I don't let things go, and I like to have fun with it, play the prank.
That's how it should be. You should have said, yeah, he's teaming up with the grandfather from Munsters, too.
He flew out the window, drove off in this fancy car.
Yeah, the Dragula. Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. So, and it's funny. Yeah. And that's another thing. Besides being blessed to be able to play with all these musicians, some of the crazy stories that have happened in my life because of playing music. I was in Alaska playing on a tour in the 70s in a top 40 band. Right, I was in a top 40 band. Wow. I'm up in Alaska. It's our first night in Alaska. And have you ever seen the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay, the tall Indian that becomes Jack. Okay, 6'6", 280 pounds. Yeah. Well, I get up there and I'm playing on stage. It's our first set, first song, and it could have been his twin brother comes up on stage and starts messing with our singer. So I just pushed him off the stage and just kept playing, and he comes back up and I push him off the stage again. And then he comes up aggressive. So I put my guitar down, and Mike and I, our singer, we both did martial arts. So I jumped up. I just wanted to kind of brush him with a heel kick. So I did a spinning heel kick just to kind of brush him off to say, hey, you're messing with the wrong guy here. And I wound up by accident hitting him in the jaw. He flew off the stage, hit the dance floor, was out and wasn't breathing. I'm thinking, I've been here 15 minutes and I killed somebody. And I'm thinking, oh no. And they pick him up and put him in the corner and he's breathing. And, I finished my set, and this one guy from the town comes in and goes, oh, you shouldn't have done that. I go, wait, that's Wanzai. I go, okay, what's a Wanzai? Well, he killed 2 of his brothers in a fight. He goes, what do you mean he killed his brothers? They were drunk. They were going to go hunting. They got into a fist fight, and he grabbed an arrow and put it through his brother's chest. When the other brother charged him, he just took the shotgun and just blew his head off like this. I go, why is he not in jail? Because it was self-defense. He goes, I just want to let you know, you just mess with the meanest man in the state of Alaska. Not in the city, in the state of Alaska. Everyone knows who he is. So I tell everyone in my band, guys, we go in twos because he's still knocked out. I knocked him out. He goes, we go in twos because when he wakes up, it's Alaska. He's got a knife, he's got a gun, just in twos. So end of the night, he's still out. So I go, good. So I go to the end of the bar, and it's just to get my last drink to go. And I feel this big hand behind me. And I turn around, and there's Wanzai. And I'm thinking, I have nowhere to go, nothing to grab. I'm thinking, I'm a dead man. And he just looks at me and goes, nobody does that to Wanzai. I'm thinking, so I'm looking at his hands. I figured maybe he has a gun, a knife. So I'm going to grab whatever he does first. And he goes, you're crazy, mother. And I'm like this. And I go, huh? And he goes, can I buy you a drink? I'm going, yeah. And we became friends. And then, then it becomes this legend of, you should have seen this fight. He goes, this guy from California jumped 10 feet in the air. He did this spinning heel kick, hit him. He goes, the kick was so fast, no one saw it. All we saw was him coming down and Wanzai on the floor. He goes, it was just amazing. And when I thought it was 15 feet. And I'm like, no.
So Carlos Arroyo is a legend in Alaska now.
In Alaska, I beat the meanest man in Alaska. Biggest, meanest man in Alaska, and I beat him with one hit. It's just, and I told that story to someone else. We were laughing about it, and the one kid goes, "Aren't you the guy that beat up Bruce Lee?" I go, "Oh no, don't you start."
Yes, I did. Yes, of course.
yes, that was me. I jumped up 20 feet from Bruce Lee. So it just, so it just became this funny things, and it seems like every city that we play in when I was touring, something crazy like that happened. It was just, but we were that kind of band. We were a party band. We were nuts. And, when that guy that I ran into that said he saw me in 78, playing, he goes, yeah, you guys got me in a lot of trouble here in the state of Washington with my band. We were always in trouble for something when we played through here and toured. And the one guy goes, what about Oregon? He goes, yeah, I got in trouble in Oregon a lot too. And he goes, maybe it's not us, it's you. And it's like, yeah, it could be.
No, not at all.
No, it couldn't have been us. A good Catholic boy. My mom raised me a nice Catholic boy. So
if to be the man, you got to beat the man. So if you beat the meanest man in Alaska, that would make you the meanest man in Alaska.
Yep, or the luckiest. Yeah, because he was big. He was big, but it's stuff like that besides playing the music, and then meeting people and getting the compliments, but and comparisons, it's humbling, but then meeting people outside of shows that still remember you or these kind of stories, and you think back, I can't believe you did that type thing, and for me it's like, I can't believe I'm still alive, after all these craziness and the party life, but it's great, but I'm married, I've got kids, and life is good. I can't wait to get back on the road, play some music, hear some songs on the radio, and say, yeah, that's my new song.
Yeah, pull over and go, I gotta wait for this.
I gotta wait for this because I'm not driving.
Well, that's awesome. Sounds like, again, as you said, you got a lot of killer things in the works. I look forward to hearing everything that comes out in the fall and into the summer of next year. But I'm going to wrap up this interview. I do got one more thing before I let you go, because we're almost at an hour. It's been a killer interview. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And so how are you going to close out 2021 and looking into moving into 2022?
Well, 2021, finish the album, get the songs on radio, get the video done. I want to definitely get the video done because they're pushing for it. End the year doing some shows. I have probably 8 shows lined up, with different bands and stuff for now. And then I'm really looking forward to 2021, hopefully getting some airplay and getting enough momentum and getting out and touring. Yeah. I'd like to get out there and take the motorhome out and go be young again, Be young again. It's and it's not just for the me and stuff. I just enjoy it so much. I enjoy meeting people. It's like you and I were the same with the music. Got to have new music. For me, it's got to meet new people also. I've got to get new experiences. You think you've done it all, and you realize man, there's more to do. There's more fun to have. I want to get out. Let's go have some fun. Get this COVID over and get the world back to what it used to be, you know. And Christina, you know, she's been a big help to us, you know, and she even, which makes my wife again laugh, is she got me submitted for the sexiest man on People magazine. Sexiest man alive. And I sat there and realized COVID hasn't killed everybody, right? I saw Matthew McConaughey, you know, without a shirt jogging on the beach, and he's still alive, right? Yeah, okay. You know, so I'm looking forward to fun stuff like that, just shaking my head going, I can't believe that just happened, you know.
And you won, of course, right?
No, I got submitted. I just laughed. I'm just thinking, really? They wanted me? You know, so I go, yeah, send them a picture, send them the bio. Yeah, tell them I'm interested. You know, so I think Sean Connery passed away, so they're looking for an old guy, you know, another old guy. So.
Yep. Oh, she's a great person. Always fun stuff like that. You never know. You never can expect, you know, what she's thinking or like what she has planned until she's like, hey, this is what I got lined up for it, and you just gotta go. All right.
Yeah, exactly. She's a lot of fun, you know, and some of the stories she tells me about, you know, she's going out promoting bands and doing things, and some of that. She goes, and she shakes her head and goes, I can't believe I did that. You know, I go, good. You want to always say, you don't want it to be straight. You want to be able to come home thinking, wow, that was crazy. You know, no matter how old you are and who you meet, you know, just go out and have fun. Have some fun. Enjoy life. It's too short.
Yeah, that was crazy, and I survived.
And I survived, exactly. I mean, you know, I survived the 70s and the 80s, you know, with all of the craziness, and survived it all. And now it's like, wow, I'm in a new millennium. Let's do this. Let's have some fun.
It's rock and roll.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate hanging out with me. Please check out Carlos Arroyo. Check out Stonefree. Check out Scultone. Check out the Blues Group, All Stars. Check out all that great stuff. I'll leave some links in the description for everything. But Carlos, thank you so much for hanging out with me here on Super Cool Radio.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks for having me. It was a blast.
And of course, hey, that's how I do it here on Super Cool Radio. Because of course, I am the host, as always, the spirit of Super Cool Radio himself, Matthew Thomas. Thank you for watching, and stay frosty.
You got it. Bye.